name is Devon Turnbull. I am from Brooklyn, New York. Mainline Overland built my first self-contained camper. It was a Toyota Tacoma with a flatbed fleet, and I, at the time, was like super jealous of all these friends of mine that live out on the West Coast because they would just like follow the snow, follow the waves. I was just like, yeah, quite envious of that. And I started thinking like, is it possible to do that on the East Coast? So we started planning in 2014, and we started using it like on weekends in 2015. And we got like super addicted to it. It was the kind of thing where my wife was just like, you're insane. Like, I don't know what you're doing. Like, I'll spend maybe like one night at a time in this thing. But it was like the first morning we woke up in it, she's like, I can stay for another night. I can stay for another night. So that started this like remote camper thing that we've been doing now for, yeah, I guess almost 10 years. And then I kind of like got the curiosity bug, and I started thinking about, okay, like what would be a potentially better platform? And I found this truck on like a European car classified site in Germany. And I just was staring at it so much that my wife was like, I think you need to go check that out because I'm sick of looking at you, looking at it. And it was a moment of opportunity where the German army decommissioned a bunch of these ambulances, and they were very cheap compared to what they are now. I am a cabinet maker, and so the carpentry aspect of it sounded like fun and exciting to me. But obviously I wanted to build like a fully self-contained, have all the features that I had in my four-wheel camper in this thing. So I thought I'll go to Germany, I'll spend like a month or two, just like bang this out. But I didn't take into consideration that there are very long lead times on like everything that you want. So I wound up spending more than 50% of my time over a 6-month period in Germany building this thing. I thought it'd be like a couple months at most. So, you know, after doing this whole build, like we were just desperate to get out of Berlin and start traveling with it. So once we got to Morocco, like the sense of adventure there and like discovery was really cool. Like, see the Sahara Desert and drive through the sandy dunes of the Sahara, and you know, exploring the coast. And then Iceland, where we spent last summer, it was just about like incredible scenery and new experiences. So that kind of just sense of adventure travel became much more interesting to us than it had been previously. Getting it back to home base was like, I would be able to do like all the things that remained on my checklist. I always sort of wanted to get this truck back here so that I could like kind of complete it with Mainline Overland, because I had this sort of like sense of, you know, you guys had helped me get to a level of like mobility and access with that previous build. I wanted to somehow include you guys, to be honest, in this build, because I had this like 10 years ago, you know, I felt like we did something that was really important together. And I knew that there were things I wanted to do to the truck that you guys could do, so I thought we should do it that way.
Pete from Mainline Overland. We have a really killer 250 GD, a former German ambulance that has traveled all over the place and has found its way to Mainline Overland to get some detail work wrapped up and to breathe some new life into it. Okay, so up front, first thing that we did was we pulled off the standard military front bumper and went ahead and installed this aftermarket winch mount bumper. We also installed a 24-volt Warren Xenon 10S winch with a synthetic line. We've got a flip-up plate holder here that gives us access to our Factor 55 Hawes Fairlead as well as our flat link. We also installed some Hella Black Magic lighting on this G-Wagon as well. This is wired up in conjunction with some roof rack mounted lights that we fitted as well. Over here at the suspension, we went ahead and fitted King adjustable remote reservoir shocks to improve the ride quality and the adjustability for this rig that has had some weight added to it. Okay, so over here we have a custom mounted wavy and jerry can along with a mount for it. So we can go ahead and pop this guy open, and this just slides out when we need to use it. So just kind of a nice use of the space. All right, also under here we have a ARB single 24-volt compressor. This is something that was installed previously on the vehicle, and we ended up moving it to a more accessible location to give them more storage indoors. Okay, now we're inside the cab, and we did a pretty cool stealth install of the switch to operate the roof rack mounted and bumper mounted lighting. So we have an early G-Wagon style headlight switch That's a 2-position. So we have it set up to basically turn on the bumper lights first, and then in the 2nd position, it'll turn on the roof mounted lighting. We also have the Wolfbox in-car video recording system. So we have basically cab recording to prove that you're not distracted when you're driving down the road. We have a forward-facing camera as well. And then we have a backup camera. All right, in the back here, we have a really cool custom build out that we can't really take any credit for. The customer that brought this to us has a lot of experience in cabinet making and design. With this setup, we have a built-in fridge here, which is really nice. Keep everything nice and cool that you want to. We've got a ton of storage under here. We've got our sink up front. We've got full cabinetry. This has a stereo built into it because this customer has a lot of experience with audio as well. This is complete with a pop-up roof. So these pieces of rope here are basically anchoring the roof in the down position. We can lift it up and it's about an additional foot or so of clearance. So they did a really cool interior setup that kind of makes this feel a whole lot more homey and something that you wouldn't really be expecting looking at this rig from the outside. This particular customer has kind of come full circle in terms of their vehicle building arc, if you will. We're excited to still be a part of the journey for our customers, even when they come out of that first rig that we built for them. And we're excited to see where this rig ends up next.